Thank you for joining the Vendio webinar. My name is Nathan, and I will be showing you everything that you need to know about Vendio services. There will be time for questions at the end of the webinar. Please feel free to go ahead and type those questions into the question box. At any time that's good for you, you can go ahead and type them in while the webinar is going on, and then at the end, I'll take a look and answer any of those questions that I can. Some of the topics that we will be covering today include linking to the marketplaces that you sell on, how to import items, how to launch items both singly and in bulk. We'll also be taking a look at inventory management and profiles. We'll be looking at order management and also at image hosting. Let's start by taking a look at the My Vendio page, which is this page here on the screen that you land on when you log into your Vendio account. One of the most important parts of this page is the account setup widget, especially when you first open up your account with Vendio. The account setup widget is a great place to know where you are in the process of getting your Vendio account ready and getting ready for the different marketplaces that you sell on and getting them set up. You can see on my screen that in my account setup widget, I already have some green check marks, which let me know that those steps have been complete. For example, I've already added my eBay ID and my Amazon account to my Vendio account, so those steps have green check marks next to them. The steps without green check marks have not yet been complete. So for example, at the bottom here, you can see that I've imported from eBay, but I've not yet imported from Amazon. So in order to complete that step, I would just click the From Amazon link, which will then bring me to a shortcut to go ahead and import my Amazon items. We'll be taking a closer look at importing in just a moment or two, and we'll be doing that from the main import page. But setup widget is a great way to just get shortcuts to those spots that you need to get to at the very beginning to just get your account set up and running. On the My Vendio page, we also have some handy widgets. One of my favorites is the widget that shows you where your listings are and their current status. So for example, it's giving me a snapshot of my active listings. You can see that currently in this account that I'm using to show you our services, we just have the 3 eBay listings and 1 Amazon item that are currently up for sale. That also gives you a snapshot of your most recently sold items, so it can let you know how your sales are doing for the day, as well as some of your unsold items that might need a little bit more attention to try to figure out how to get people to buy those. You can also move these widgets around, which is really handy. So for example, there's the frequent actions widget. Perhaps I want that closer to the top of the page where it's easier to get to. You can just drag and drop it up and move it around. You can put it pretty much wherever you want on the page, depending on where you want it to show. You also have the option to turn widgets on or off with this Customize button near the top left of the page. You can just click Customize, and then you can uncheck a widget if you no longer want to see it. For example, after maybe you don't want to see the account usage widget, and then you could just uncheck that box and it would no longer show up. You can also turn them back on if you've turned off some that you want to show up again. Next, I wanted to show you how to add your eBay and Amazon account to Vendio. And to do that, you'll start by going to the Preferences link at the top right of the page in your Vendio account. And once you go to Preferences, you'll see that there's a drop-down box at the very top of the page that lets you navigate to the different preferences pages. We've set the defaults for all these preferences to what works for most people most of the time. But if you do open up a Vendio account, I would recommend that you go through each of these pages and just take a quick look and make sure that the defaults work best for your business. There'll probably be 1 or 2 that you'll want to change. For now, though, we're going to go to the Channels Preferences page. And at the top is where we can set up our eBay ID. You can see here that my account here already has an eBay account added, but you can add as many eBay accounts as you would like to your Vendio account, and then you can set your default. To add a new account, you just click this Add New button, which then directs you to log in to the eBay account. And then once you've logged into the eBay account, you will get a message from eBay letting you know that you are linking to Vendio and asking that you agree and continue. It's pretty simple. Just read what's on the screen, and then once you click agree and continue, you will be sent back to Vendio, and you should see that your eBay account is linked to your Vendio account. It'll show right down here in this grid like this one does here. Amazon is pretty similar. At the bottom here, instead of this disconnect Amazon account from Vendio button, it would say connect Amazon account to Vendio, and you would just click that button, log into your Amazon account. It's a very similar process to connecting to eBay. I believe there's maybe 2 or 3 pages to click through. You should read what's on them, of course, but it's just a simple checkbox to agree to link your Vendio account and Amazon accounts together. That will then bring you right back to this page once you finish that process, and you should see your Amazon information here. That will link your Amazon Fulfilled by Merchant account to Vendio. So those are the items that you are shipping out when they sell. You do, though, have the option of also linking your Amazon Fulfilled by Amazon items. So those are the items that you have shipped to Amazon's warehouse and they're shipping out for you once an item sells. To do that, you would check this box up here to enable Vendio to retrieve those quantities as well, and then we'll be able to show you your data for your Fulfilled by Amazon quantities right within your Vendio account. Once you're done, you can just go ahead and click Save and Close at the bottom of the page. Next, I wanted to show you how to import items into Vendio, and you can do that by going to Items and then Import Items. If you already have items on eBay or Amazon or both, I would definitely recommend importing them into your Vendio account. To import from eBay, you would go ahead and click on the eBay button right here, and this will bring you to the eBay import page. You can select which eBay account you would like to import from, and then you can also select the item allocation strategy. You have 3 different options here, and this decides how the item quantities will be handled on the Vendio side. Committed means that you are taking your quantities and you are specifying which quantities go to which marketplace. So for example, let's say you have a quantity of 5 of an item and you decide that you want to put it up on both eBay and Amazon. Maybe you'll put a quantity of 3 on eBay and a quantity of 2 on Amazon. Say then that those 2 items sell on Amazon but not on eBay. So then our system would adjust that for you. So you would have a quantity of 0 on Amazon, the item would be taken down, and then the eBay item would remain with a quantity of 3. The more common option, and what I prefer, is the shared item allocation strategy. And this takes those quantities and it allows you to share them across marketplaces. So in that same example with that quantity of 5, when you list to eBay and Amazon, you would have a quantity of 5 on both eBay and Amazon. When those 2 items sell on Amazon, in our example, then your quantities would automatically be adjusted on both eBay and Amazon to give a quantity of 3, since you would have a total of 3 left in stock. If you sell all 5, then we would take it down from both marketplaces for you, no matter which marketplaces had the sales. The third option is unlimited. Unlimited is used if you have a product where you have a virtual unlimited supply. This is commonly used by sellers that have a supplier that can basically send them more of the product whenever they need it and can do it pretty quickly. Not the most common setting, but some people do need that one. And then next, you'll decide whether you want to import your active and recently closed listings, or if you'll only want to import your currently active eBay listings. You also have the option of only importing from certain eBay store categories. And then there are some options here for the Vendio store as well. We'll touch on that a bit later. But the Vendio store is just it's a good way to have your own free website with very little work. But you do have the option of automatically creating some Vendio store categories based on your eBay categories. Once you're done with these settings, you'll go ahead and click the button to import your eBay items. And then you can check the status of the import by going back to the Item Import Items page, and you should see this link near the bottom left to see the last 10 import actions. You just click on that link and you can see here that about a couple weeks ago or so, I did an import and that import was successful. It did import 13 active listings for me and there were no errors or any other issues there. The amount of time that it takes for the import to complete does depend on the number of listings that you have. So if you do have quite a few number of listings, it'll take a bit longer than if you only have a small number. Next, let's take a look at the Amazon import options. That's also under items and then import items. And then this time we'll just click on the Amazon icon. And here you can see that we have a few options before we start the import. You can choose to import only your active Amazon items or only your inactive, so those are items with a quantity of 0, or you can import both your active and inactive items. You can also select which profiles you would like associated with those items. Profiles are a great way of reusing information that is common across some of your products so that you don't need to enter it each time. We'll be taking a closer look at profiles in a little bit, but with your Amazon import, this is where you would select which profiles you want associated with those imported items. And then once you're done, you go ahead and click the import button. And then next we'll go back to the import items page. You would again be able to check the status of that import from the same link at the bottom left. And let's take a look at CSV file import. Importing from CSV file is a great way to get data into your Vendio account if you have items that are not yet on eBay or Amazon, but you do have that data in an Excel spreadsheet or some other way that you can convert it to an Excel spreadsheet. We have 2 links that I would definitely recommend you click on before using the CSV import. One is the how to prepare your import file document, and this lets you know all of the different columns that are available and all the different fields that you can use. The spreadsheet template is the template that you'll want to fill in with that data. You can really get put in as much or as little data as you want. You can be very sparse with the data if you just have a small amount of data that you want to get in and into your account and you're planning on editing those items once they're imported. Or you can put pretty much everything that you need in order to launch those listings into the spreadsheet and just import it all at once and get it done that way. You do have the option of making those items automatically visible in your Vendio store. And then again, you can select which profiles you want associated with the imported items. And then when you're ready, you can click the button to complete the import. The status again can be checked on that same see the last 10 import actions link on the import items page. Let's take a look now at those profiles that I keep mentioning. That is under items in the menu at the top of the page, and then profiles. Profiles are used when you have information that's common across either some or all of your listings, and they can really save you a great deal of work. They're really handy that way so that you don't need to recreate data every time that you list similar items. You can basically just reuse that same data over and over again whenever appropriate. You can also have as many different profiles as you like. So if you're selling a wide variety of different types of items, you don't need to worry that you're limited because you can always just create another profile if you need to. Let's take a look at one of the shipping profiles. So I'll just go ahead and click on it here. And you can see it just has my basic shipping information. For example, for this one, I've selected a fixed cost, flat rate shipping. I've selected the shipping carrier that I want to use. You can choose either USPS, UPS, FedEx, or if you needed to, you can use the custom carrier and type in your own name. Perhaps you ship DHL, and then you could type that in right there. Then you can select the method. We have all of the methods that are available for the different shipping carriers for you to select here, and then you just enter in your shipping cost. It's very similar for international shipping, same sort of idea down here. And then of course you can use calculated shipping if you prefer. To do that, you just select the calculated option instead. And it's actually even simpler there because you don't even have to enter in a shipping cost. Our system will just calculate it for you. And again, you just select the shipping carrier as well as the method that you would like to use. Also keep in mind at the bottom that you do have the option of adjusting these settings for different marketplaces. Perhaps, for example, you have a shipping option that you would like to make free for eBay, and then you would be able to do that under the eBay specific settings. Once you're done making any changes to your profile, or once you've completed it, you just click the Save Changes button at the bottom of the page. And then there are a variety of other profiles as well. There's the payment profile where you can put in your PayPal email address. There is the tax profile where you can set up your tax settings. There's the policies profile where you can enter in your different business policies, such as your eBay return policy. That's where that one is stored. There's your eBay market profile, which you can use if you use any of eBay's optional paid features, then that's where you would set those. The eBay launch profile is a really great way to automatically launch listings based on rules. And we have quite a few different options that you can use there. For example, perhaps you want to set up a rule so that when your inventory quantity is greater than 1 and there are no listings on market, you want to launch a new listing but only on Thursdays at 11 a.m. That's just one example of the sorts of things that you can do with the eBay launch profile. There are quite a few different options there to get your listings to launch really whatever way you want them to, for the most part. Then there's also the Amazon market profile, and the Amazon market profile contains information such as if you want to put your items on sale for Amazon, or maybe you need to mark them as being subject to the California Proposition 65 rules. And that is the basics on profiles. Let's take a look now at how to create a new item. To do that, you go to Items, and then Create Items. And the first thing I'm going to do on this page is choose which marketplaces I would like to sell on. So at the bottom, for this example, I'm going to sell the item on eBay and Amazon. So I'll go ahead and check the box for eBay, and I'll check the box for Amazon. You should notice that near the top left here, the tabs then appear for eBay info and Amazon info, since those are the two marketplaces that I am going to use for this item. You will probably want to use the catalog match if you have a product identifier such as the UPC code or ISBN, which are the numbers that show on the barcode for an item, or the ASIN, which is Amazon's specific item or specific number for the item. I'm going to go ahead and click the catalog match button, and you can see that it's available for both eBay and Amazon. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and just use the Amazon catalog match, and I'm going to do that by typing in the UPC code. Note also that you can search by keyword if you'd rather, and then that will bring up any results that come up based on those keywords, and you can select the catalog item in that way. Now that I've entered the UPC code, I'm going to go ahead and click Search Catalog, and you can see that the iPhone I'm looking for has shown up here, and I'm just going to go ahead and click Choose this item. And I am also going to go ahead and fill in any information with that data for eBay as well that I'm able to with the data that's been pulled in. And then I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And there you go. Now you can see the UPC code and also Amazon's identifying number have already been filled in for me. And now I am going to choose my eBay product category. You can use the category browse tree to just go right through to the item that you're trying to find and then select the category that way. Or if you know the category ID already, you can just type it into the box and click Go, and it'll be filled in for you right away. Now we're done with this tab, so it's time to move on. There are two ways to navigate this form. When creating a completely new item, I recommend using the Next buttons, which are at the top right and the bottom right of the page, and that will bring you in order through the process. If you're editing an existing item, you might want to use these tabs at the top left instead, and you can just click on each tab or whichever tab you need to go to navigate right to the data that you need to change. Since we're creating a new item though, we're going to go through all of these tabs, so I'm going to go ahead and click the Next button. And right away at the top, you will probably notice that the field for title is in green and these other fields are in black. The fields that are in green are fields that are required, and you do need to enter them in order to save the item. The black fields are not required in order to save the item. And so next, we're going to take a look at the images section here, and we are going to go ahead and add in a new image. Unfortunately, one of the pieces of data that Amazon does not provide for us for eBay are the images from the catalog item. So we do need to add an image for the purpose of the eBay item. And there's also a different page where you can go to manage all of your images. We'll take a look at that a little bit later, but it's kind of handy to just add them while you're creating an item, and some people do prefer this workflow instead. And so to do that, we click the Add Images button, and then we click on the Upload button because I've not yet uploaded the image. We click to select the image to upload. I just select the image. I click Open. And I see the images right there. I can choose whether to automatically resize it or not. If I chose original size, it would upload it as is. I'm going to go ahead and click the large size, and that way if the image is too large, it will be scaled down to 600 pixels for me. And then I'm going to go ahead and click upload that file. And there you go. Now we can see that the image is showing up in the images section. Here's the item description. I'm just going to go ahead and type in a quick description for the purpose of eBay. And we'll see later that this information is then copied over to the eBay section as well. So kind of just remember that we've typed that in here and we've added this image here in the item info section, and that'll be important in a few minutes. You'll see the base price has already been filled in. This was pulled in from the Amazon catalog item. The profiles are already here. If I needed to add a new profile, I could do it right from here by clicking the green plus button. Or if I needed to edit an existing profile, I could click the edit link here as well. And let's go ahead and move on to the next page. So in this page, we have at the top the SKU. You can use pretty much whatever SKU you would like, but we do put in a default SKU for you. But feel free to change that to your own SKU if you do already have your own SKU that you're using. The total inventory quantity is the total number that you have on hand. So I'm going to go ahead and say I have 10 of those. You'll notice the quantity available for sale field cannot be edited, and it automatically updated when I changed the total inventory quantity. The reason for that is the quantity available for sale is letting me know how many I have in stock that have not yet been sold. So for example, with this total inventory quantity of 10, let's say that I've sold one of those. So I now just have 9 for sale and I have 1 that I've sold, but I've not yet shipped it. I still have a quantity of 10 in stock in my warehouse or wherever I am keeping those items, but only 9 of those are available for sale. So until that item's marked as shipped, we would have a total inventory quantity of 10 and a quantity available for sale of 9. Once that item is marked as shipped, then it would be 9 and 9 instead. And here is also where you would select your item allocation strategy that we talked about earlier. And it's also where you can enter in your cost. So this is the amount of money that you paid for the product. And this is very helpful for the purpose of profit and loss reporting. We have some good reporting that you can use that will let you know which items are bringing you in the most profit. And one of the ways that we are able to do that is if you enter in your cost of the product here. There are some other fields here as well that you can fill in. These are all optional. There's the advanced area, which shows you some more like brand and manufacturer and that sort of thing. And for pretty much any data that you want to store for the item, you can enter into this tab. You can even create your own custom fields if you need to for this page. But it's also not necessary, so we're just going to go ahead and go on to the next tab. And now we are on the eBay info tab, and this tab contains all of your eBay specific information. You'll notice much of this is already filled in, either from the Amazon catalog match that we did, or from some of the data we entered previously, or just some of the defaults that show up. But you can go ahead and change anything that you need to for the purpose of eBay. For example, we default to fixed price, but if it's an auction listing, you would choose auction here instead. Perhaps you want the duration to be different. It's 7 days, but we'll go ahead, we'll change it to 30. You can see the price has already been pulled in from the Amazon catalog item. You can go ahead and change it here if you're charging a different amount on eBay than you do on Amazon. And you'll see the title's also been copied over. What you might notice in the title field and some of the other fields on various tabs is this icon that looks like two links of a chain. When you see that icon, it means that the data has been copied over from the item info tab that we were on previously. And so that's where it came from. But if perhaps you want a different title for eBay than you do for Amazon, you can go ahead and click this icon of the two links of a chain to break those links, and now you can enter in a different title for eBay than you have for Amazon. It will only change it in this field and not in the other places. Perhaps, I don't know, you don't want the color, I probably would, but just as an example, you could go ahead and really make whatever change to that title you would like. And so we're just going to scroll down here a bit. If you list on eBay, these options should all look pretty familiar to you. Pretty basic eBay options, the same sorts of options that you have whenever you list items to eBay. The templates, though, you will probably not be familiar with. We have some really good templates, and I will be showing you a little bit more about our eBay templates later on in the webinar. But for right now, know that this is where you would select the template that you want to use for your eBay listing. I'm going to go ahead and click on favorites, and you can see I have 3 different templates that I've added to my favorites, and I can select one of those here. And you can, of course, also choose one of the other templates from here as well. Or you can also choose which counter style you want to use. If you want to use a counter to count how many people are viewing your listings, we have really a very large number of different counter styles that you can use. And then at the bottom, we're going to go ahead and click the More eBay options. Again, most of this information we've already filled in previously, so we can just skim down to see if it looks okay. You can see here in the description section, this is the description that we typed in earlier, and it's been copied over to the eBay section for us. And the same thing for that image that we added earlier on. And then at the very bottom is the Preview at eBay button, which I always recommend that you take a look at before launching a listing. And that will show you what the listing will look like on eBay, and also if there are any issues with it before you launch it. And then when you are ready to launch, you have a few different launch options at the bottom of the page. First, if you're just maybe entering in some data and you're not ready to launch the listing yet, you can select to not launch it right now. Or you can select to launch a single listing, and you can choose to either launch immediately when saved, or you can specify a specific day and time. You can also choose to automatically relist it a certain number of times if it closes without a sale. Or you can use those eBay launch profiles that we talked about earlier that allow you to set up some more detailed rules as to how to launch your listings. For now, I'm going to go ahead and select to not launch right now and click Next to go on to the Amazon info section. Since our item is in the Amazon catalog, there's actually very little work that we need to do for Amazon. We're pretty much already done. I mean, you want to take a look and make sure that all the data is correct. Let's get the condition in there. Let's take a quick look and see if everything looks right to you. And then you're pretty much ready to send that item on over to Amazon. If your item is not in Amazon's catalog, this is where you would create the new Amazon catalog item, and you would do that by clicking the link right there. And then you can choose to either not publish on Amazon when you save the item if you're not ready for it to go live yet, or you can click to publish on Amazon. And then once you're done, we're ready to just save this item. You can go ahead and click the Save button at either the top right or bottom right of the page, and the item will be launched based on the rules that you have set up. Go ahead and click Save now. And that brings us to the My Items page. And the My Items page we'll take a look at in just a minute, but first I wanted to actually show you the My Listings page. I'm going to go to Channels and then My Listings, and this is where we can check on the status of the listings that you've launched. You can see here that there is the Channels button, and if you select the Channels button, it allows you to choose whether you're looking at eBay or Amazon or Vendio store items. There's also the Views button that lets you then decide which status of items you want to look at. You can look at your active, your scheduled, any errors that you have, or any ended listings. So for example, right now we're looking at our active listings that are currently on eBay. You also can take some different actions from this page, like if you need to end a listing early, perhaps you need to cancel an eBay listing, you can do that right from this page. Now let's take a look at the My Items page, which is where the inventory items are stored. And this is where you'll probably spend most of your time managing your inventory when you need to do that. You'll see that at the top right of the page there is an Options button, and you can use this to turn on or off any columns that you need to. That way, if there's a column that's showing up here and you don't want to see it, it's not useful to your business perhaps, you can just uncheck the box to turn it off. Or perhaps there's a column that's not on yet and is really important to your business, you can go ahead and turn that column right back on. You can also get a quick look at the current quantities that you have on market for different inventory items from this page. So for example, if you look down the eBay quantity column, we scroll on down and we can see these 3 items have a quantity of 1 on eBay. The Fulfilled by Merchant Amazon column, we can take a look and we can see that this is 1 item that's up on Amazon. And then even the To Ship quantity column, we can see that these 2 items here both have a quantity of 1 that are sold orders that have not yet been marked as shipped and probably need our attention to get those shipped out. You can also click on your column headers to sort them. For example, I'm clicking on the item column header, and that can sort the items that are in here in alphabetical order. And you can also use the search boxes at the top of the page. Perhaps I want to search my item titles, and I can pull it up just like that. And then once I'm done with the search, I can just click this link here to clear the filters and get all of my items back. There are some more fancy search options you can use as well by clicking this filter link to the left of each of the search boxes, and then you can just choose what sorts of searches you want to do. We also have a couple different bulk edit options on this page. And to bulk edit, you want to make sure that you've checked the box for quick edit mode. And one of my favorite ways to bulk edit is when you just have a quick change that you need to make to one inventory item. You can do that for many of these fields by just double clicking on the field. So for example, let's say that I want to change my SKU for this item. Perhaps I entered in the wrong SKU. I'm just going to double click and I'm going to change this H at the end to a J, and then I'm just going to go ahead and save my changes with the save button at the bottom right of the page. And now my change has been saved. And again, that's available for many of these fields right here in the grid. You can just double click on them in order to edit them. Another really good bulk edit option allows you to edit multiple items at once. So you can do that either by checking this box at the top left to select an entire page of items, or I could have just selected specific items as well. Let's say though that I want to change my shipping profile for all of my items. So I now have them all selected, and I have the bulk edit panel that's opened up at the right of the page. And then I just scroll down to the shipping profile section. I can select the new shipping profile that I want to use, and then just click Save. And then that will apply that new shipping profile to all of the items that I have selected. A couple other things that you can do in bulk that that are really handy is that you can send items to eBay. So perhaps you have some items in here and you've not yet launched them to eBay, but you're ready to do that. What you can do is you can just select the items you want to launch, either specific items, or again, you can do an entire page if you would like, and then click Actions, Send to, and then select eBay. Here you have a grid where you can make some changes to these items if you need to, but this is all data that's in your inventory item already. So if your inventory item information is already correct, there's really not even any need to make any changes here. And at the bottom, you just select your launch options. You might want to launch immediately, or you might want to specify a certain day and time, or you might want to use those repeat schedule options instead. And then you just click launch and it sends them on over to eBay for you. One really good option for people that are already selling on eBay but are trying to get their items over to Amazon is that you can actually import your eBay listings and then bulk match them to Amazon's catalog and send them all over to Amazon at once. To do a bulk Amazon catalog match, you would again select either specific items or an entire page of items at once, and then go to Actions, Match Amazon Catalog. And what our system does is it then takes whatever data you have in your inventory item, and it uses that data to try and find the correct Amazon catalog items. If you have a UPC code already entered, then the chances are our system will find that Amazon catalog item for you right away. For example, this example at the top of the page, our system saying, yep, we matched the Amazon catalog item for you based on your UPC code, and here it is. And so that one's already good to go. This one's a little bit more complicated. This is a test item, so it's not a very specific title, and that's really all our system had to go with. So it gave the 3 best suggestions that it could find. If one of these was correct, you'd go ahead and just select the correct one. You can either go ahead and only save once you found a match, or click to save and publish to Amazon. Or better yet, my preference would be to scroll down the entire page, select the correct catalog items, or quickly verify with just a look that the correct one's already there. And then at the bottom, you can click to save and publish all of these items right over to Amazon in bulk. This, again, is a really, really great and easy way to get your items sent over to Amazon with really just a few clicks. Next, I wanted to move over to those eBay templates that I mentioned earlier, and those are available under Items and then eBay Templates. We recently redid all of our eBay templates. They are 100% active content free, mobile responsive, and they do completely comply with all of eBay's policies, and they also have a good fresh new look. There are a few ways to search for those templates. You can pick, or to search for a specific template that you would like, I should say. You can pick which category you want to browse, or you can pick even templates of a specific color. Perhaps you have a red color scheme that you're looking for and you only want to view the red templates. You can select the color red and then scroll down to view all of the templates that have red in them. Or you can go back to viewing all templates with all colors. You can also search by keyword. Maybe you're looking for a holiday template. You can just pull those up by searching for that keyword and then scroll down to view the different holiday templates. Once you've found a template that you want to view, you can go ahead and click on that template. And then it pulls up a nice preview of the template. You can scroll down to see what it looks like. You can change the image layout, which is really handy. There's so many different options here depending on what you want it to look like. So for example, there's a different image layout. And then you can also choose how many images you're going to be using with that template. Once you found one that you liked, you can go ahead and add it to your favorites, and by just clicking this Add to Favorites button. You can also view your favorites by going to My Favorites at the top, and you can see any templates that you've added to your favorites, remove them if you need to. And you can also view your last used, as well as any recommended templates that we have for you. You also have the option of creating a custom template if you are very good with HTML code, or have someone that works for you that is, or even if you want to hire a designer to create a template just for you and just for your business. That option basically allows you to use tags, which will pull in the data from your Vendio inventory item and then insert it into your HTML code pretty much wherever you'd like it to go. Next, I wanted to show you briefly the eBay gallery, which is under channels and then eBay gallery. The eBay gallery is the scrolling marquee here that shows one image from each of your active listings on your active listings. Our research has shown that it, on average, increases sales about 18%. So I do recommend that you give it a try and see if it works for you. It's very easy to add, and I definitely recommend giving it a try. There are some different settings here that you can change if you like. The one that you'll probably want to take a look at is the color setting. You can just click on that color and then you can choose pretty much whatever color you would like for your gallery. Like, let's go ahead and we'll pick a red color and then click OK. And then you can also get a preview of what it will look like with those changes that you've made. Let's take a look at the orders page. We'll go to orders and then sold items so that you can see what it looks like when you are managing your orders in your Vendio account. You'll again see a view options button at the top right of the page where you can turn any columns on or off that you would need to or you would like to. And you'll also notice there are different tabs that show you the different status of your orders. So for example, right now we're on the All tab. Perhaps I only want to see the orders that need shipment, so I would go to the Needing Shipment tab. And I can see that there's just the one order here that needs to be shipped. Also, take a look at the Marketplace/account column. This will let you know which marketplace the order is from. So in this example, the top two are from the Vendio store, and then the bottom one is from eBay, and it even shows the eBay account ID. And that way, if you have multiple eBay accounts, you'll know which one it's from. I'm going to go back to the Needing Shipment tab here and first show you that you can view the details of the order if you need to. And to do that, you click on the details button. Most of the time you probably won't even need to do this, but if you do need to dig deeper into an order to get some more specific information about it, or maybe you need to make some changes to that order, then you would click on the details button and you can see that pretty much all of the data for the order is shown here. And again, probably won't normally need to do it, but it's a great option to take a look at if you want to. We're going to go back to that Needing Shipment tab, and let's take a look at what it looks like when you are ready to actually go ahead and ship. If you use the Postal Service, probably what you'll want to do is integrate your Vendio account with USPS, and then you'll be able to check the order, go to ship, and then you will be able to just go ahead and click a link right here where it will pull up your orders and you can print your shipping labels and postage right from within your Vendio account. And they'll be marked as shipped automatically as you do that, and you can get everything shipped out. You do, though, have the option instead, if you would like, of using this export button here. And then you can choose either a file that's specific for FedEx, a file that's specific for UPS, or a file that's specific to the Postal Service, which you could then import to either of those three tools in order to ship from there. We also have a generic option if you perhaps use your own in-house solution and need to use that instead. You would be able to use the generic file in order to integrate there. And then the way the process works is once you've exported that file, perhaps you ship through UPS. Once you've exported the UPS export file, you would import that into your UPS WorldShip account. You would ship all of your items and get everything shipped out. And then you would select to export a file with the tracking information. And then you come back into your Vendio account. You would check the orders. You would go to import, and then you would select to import that tracking file, which is specific to UPS WorldShip or whichever of the other options you might be using, including generic. And once you've imported that file, our system will automatically add the tracking number to the orders for you. It'll automatically mark them as shipped for you. It'll automatically send that tracking information over to the marketplace that it was sold on for you. And as long as you have your settings set up that way, it'll even automatically send out an email notification to your buyer to let them know that the order is shipped and what the tracking information is. One of the other options in the Orders tab is eBay feedback. You do have the option of setting your eBay feedback to go out automatically, which is a great way to just kind of set it and then forget about it. Or if you prefer to manage it manually, you can send your feedback manually from this page. And you can also even send feedback reminder emails for buyers that have purchased from you but not yet left you feedback. You can ask them in bulk to send you some feedback. And now let's take a look at the images page that I mentioned earlier. It's under images and my images. Again, you have that view options button at the top right. You can choose whichever columns you want to see. And from here, you can upload images either singly or in bulk by just clicking the Upload Images button. You would click to choose files, and then as long as they're all in one folder, you can use the Control or Shift key to select multiple image files at once and upload them to your Vendio account. You can choose to upload to a specific folder, and you can even create a new folder right from the upload screen if you would rather do it that way. And again, you can choose to either keep the original size or automatically resize those images. That's especially useful if you have very large images that are just going to be too large for an eBay listing, for example. Another good option for image hosting is that you can choose to, just to show you what I just did there, I just clicked on the Preferences link at the top right of the page, and this brought me to the Images Preferences page. The default is to automatically keep your images. We don't try to automatically delete your images for you unless you want us to. But what is useful for some people is to select to have their images automatically be deleted after they have not been viewed for a certain number of days. This is especially useful for eBay listings where perhaps the listing has sold and after it's been sold, no one's going to be viewing the listing, so the images are also not going to be viewed. And then if you set the setting here to a certain number of days, our system would then automatically delete those images for you after they had not been viewed that amount of time. The idea there is that if they're not being viewed, then there's probably no longer an active listing, and that data probably is no longer needed within your Vendio account. It's a good way to kind of clean your account up automatically without having to worry about which images you're actually deleting each time. And finally, I wanted to take a quick look at the Vendio store. The Vendio store is a quick and easy way to have your own website without doing very much work at all. You can choose to put in a great deal of work with your Vendio store if you like, or you can pretty much just turn it on. One of the options here is your name and domain. Your Vendio store name by default is the same as your Vendio account name. However, you can change it to pretty much whatever you like as long as no one else is already using that name. You can even choose to use your own custom domain with the Vendio store. And you can also just use one of our existing templates. We have a wide variety of Vendio store templates to choose from, and you can just go ahead and choose one of those existing templates. You can use it just as it is, or if you prefer, you can modify it using our template editor, or you can even create your own if you're very good with HTML code. If you do open up a Vendio store, I would highly recommend you go to Stores and then Applications, and first sign up for a free Google Analytics account. It's free on Google's end, and it's free on our end. You just have to open up a Google Analytics account, and then it's really simple too. Once you've done that, you just click on Google Analytics to get your snippet code, and then you click here in Vendio to add your pixel, select to enable it, and just paste in that snippet code and click Save. And then once you've done that, your Google Analytics account will start showing you all that good data about what traffic's going to your Vendio store and all of the details about it. Also, if you open a Vendio store, I would highly recommend coming to the same applications page and opening up a Facebook store. It's really just a couple of clicks. As long as you have a Facebook fan page, you just click Get It Now. That directs you to log in to your Facebook account, and you basically just click through to add your Vendio store as a Facebook store as well. And then you also have a Facebook store with, again, very little work. All right, and so that is what I wanted to show you today about the Vendio services. Thank you for joining. We do offer a 15-day free trial. There's no credit or payment information that's required. So you can basically just go ahead and sign up for that free trial. All you have to do is pick a username, pick a password, and enter in your email address, and then you're good to go. If you do decide at the end that you want to sign up for a paid account, that's when you would go ahead and select which plan you want and enter in your payment information. We also have help options at the top right of the page in your account. Under help, we do have email, phone, and chat support. And definitely, I would recommend reaching out to us for any help or any questions that you have. We're always happy to help. All right, let me see if there are any questions. I'm not seeing any questions at the moment, but if you do have a question, please go ahead and type that into the question box. To the right, that's in your little webinar widget. You should see the question box there where you can type in any questions that you have. I'll give it just a minute so that anyone that has a question has time to type it in. And again, we'll just give it a couple more minutes for any questions. While we're waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and go to the help page so that you can see where you can click to email, live chat, or phone support. We also have quite a few user guides on this page as well, which are very useful if it's perhaps late, maybe you do your work late at night or early in the morning, and you want to get some self-help. That's available here as well, where you can browse our help files. But again, we do have the phone, email, and chat support, and I highly recommend that you take advantage of that. All right. Well, it doesn't look like there are any questions. I hope that means I answered all the questions that there were. But thank you very much again for joining the Vendio webinar. I hope that you found it useful, and please, again, you can contact us through phone or email or chat just by going to our website. You don't even need an account to do that. So if you have any questions, just let us know, and have a great day.